I grew up in the 90s. I'm 36. So I grew up in the 90s. Like I'm a 90s kid, like to my core. So I grew up with like 90s kind of, like a beauty standards, you can call them that. Where you had like Ryder Strong and JTT and Nick Carter from the Backstreet Boys. And that was like who the girls liked. Okay, and I wanted girls to like me. So I wanted to look like that. So this was my plan, was I would grow an afro when I had hair, which I had at some point. Now, I should have just been like, I had hair and been happy. But no, I went too far, all right? I crossed the line here. So I spent about like 9 months growing an afro. Then I was like, I'll have my mom put in a relaxer, okay? And then I'll just like, I'll comb it in the middle. Is that middle part, you know what I'm talking about? Which looks kind of like a penis in retrospect, but like, that's what I wanted. I wanted a real dickhead. So I grew the hair out into a fro, and my mom, sure enough, like begrudgingly helped me out and put in the relaxer. And then I rinsed it out. And I blow dried my hair, blow dried it. Shh. And I combed it in the middle and looked in the mirror. And man, I did not look at all at JTT or Ryder Strong or Nick Carter from the Backstreet Boys. Now, this is the thing, is that I recently was listening to a podcast, and there was an interview with like a Hollywood trainer who was like, I train these celebrities, and when they want to, I say, hey, what's your ideal body type? And they always say the same thing, which is Brad Pitt in Fight Club. Okay? All these guys want. And he says, listen, I can help you get there, because maybe your body looks comparable, but you don't have Brad Pitt's face. So you won't look like him. You'll look like you. Okay? This takes precedent to what I'm going to say. I look in the mirror, and I did not look like JTT, Ryder Strong, or any of those guys. I looked like a fat, brown dude version of the dancer at the beginning of Living Single. Okay? And it was just awful. So I went to school with this new, like, soft, flowy hair, and people just looked at me weird for 2 weeks, and I shaved my head and went back to normal. Back in June, my wife and I celebrated 1 year of marriage. Thank you very much. Perfect. Thank you very much. We were a COVID wedding, so we actually celebrated our anniversary and our honeymoon at the same time. We went to Vegas. It was super rad. Just to let you know, in case you're curious, in fact, right now, marijuana is legal in Vegas. And I went to Vegas about 4 years ago without my wife. And last time I was there was like fighting in the streets and people puking and stuff, and couples like fighting in the casino. This time it was a different situation. It was just people eating chips. It was just a beautiful thing, and people just mellow, just with eyes like the devil's dick, nice and red. It was a good time. But before the pandemic happened, like the last thing we did as a couple was we went to a strip club together, all right? And she went to, thank you. So she went to the restroom and left me by myself, and a dancer came up to me. And so the way they make their money is they sell like lap dances or like the champagne room, right? So she like comes up to me and goes, well, hey baby, how about you get the champagne room, just me and you, and I can get real nasty. To which I reply, word, it was very exciting. And I said, well, what? And she says, well, you take all major credit cards, and there's this top shelf liquor, and I can just get real nasty. And I said, oh, well, I love getting nasty as well. She said, oh, you get nasty? Well, what do you like to do? I said, well, after a long day's work, I sit on the couch and I put my hand down my pants, and she's like, ooh. And I was like, then I touch my genitalia. She goes, ooh. Then what? And I say, I take my hand, and I smell it, and then she just ran away. She just wasn't into it. I thought we were like vibing, as the kids say. And no, she didn't like my stinky ball hand story. So then we just, after the strip club, went to Wendy's. It was fine. So then, while the pandemic, though, was going on, like at the height of the quarantine, my big hobby was to watch The Muppet Show. Because that is awesome, all right? So, but there's something weird about The Muppet Show that I will point out. We're agreed that Gonzo has sex with that chicken, right? We're in agreement of this? But it's way more like nefarious and like icky than you think it is, okay? Because it's definitely like, they're a couple, I feel like, but he's definitely like her owner, kind of, because she doesn't speak. So, like, is Camilla, like, sentient? Like, is she employed there, or is she, like, his property? But it gets even grosser. I'll tell you why. Did you ever watch the Muppet Babies? All right? Now, Muppet Babies, right? All these freaks are in his nursery with this faceless goon nanny who takes care of them, all right? And you got Ralph and Fozzie and all the guys, right? And you have Gonzo, whatever he is, I think an alien or whatever he is, all right? And he has a toy. He has a stuffed chick, which he probably calls a baby chick, which is redundant, and that's bad writing, but anyway, all right? But his name, this toy, is Camilla. All right? Not a coincidence. So what I surmise that happened is that Gonzo, after having this weird, like, sexual thing with this baby toy chick, this inanimate object, grows up, goes to a farmer's market, and buys an egg, takes it home, incubates it, it hatches, it's a chicken. He names it Camilla and grooms it its whole life to be both his employee, his property, and sexual partner. Just like Celine Dion's husband, but we never talk about it. All right? And that's wrong. Okay? And then I would say that, my wife and I, it's, we've been trying to get more active and be healthier. I actually recently lost 30 pounds. Thank you very much. Now I'm just like regular fat. I've been being like real fat. Now I'm just like a normal fat guy, Now I'm like a regular American guy, So we got more active. We were hiking in Cook's Forest, and we went through like all these like deep forests and these trails and everything, And it came to like an open field, like a meadow. And in the middle of this meadow was a door. Like just a door, not a shack or a shed or a house, just a door. Like there was like a frame and a door, and it was red with a doorknob, and it was supported by like 4 kind of support beams. And I went, nope. And my wife went, let's go through it. Now you realize I am married to a white person. Because there's no way that my big black ass would ever go through a door in the middle of a field. That's how you die in horror movies, man. You end up in the upside down, and you're emailing your mom Christmas lights, and no one likes that. But I will say that it is, you know what though, like honey, like it's love, it's real love. I'll tell you how you know it's real love. It's when you let your partner watch you eat your favorite food the way you do when you're alone. You have a food, nachos or pizza or burgers, that when you eat it, you like go to town on it, Mine is wings. All right, like buffalo wings, ranch, and blue cheese. I eat it like a bomb went off, like an autopsy, okay? So one night, I went out drinking with buddies. She was at work late. She comes home, and she walks in the room. There I am, up my elbows in buffalo sauce and ranch, all sweaty, watching Doug on Hulu. And she just looks at me, and I'm looking at her. She looks at me. I'm looking at her, and she just says, you know what? If you hose yourself off, I'll have sex with you. And that's how you know it's real love, guys, all right? So, we're going to keep it going. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks for coming again. And up next is my friend. He's very, very funny. He's in everywhere. Mr. Marcus Cox. Yeah!
Alrighty. All right, we are here on the back porch patio thing. All right. Oh, I'm so glad to be outside, though. We got to make some noise for being outside. I'm glad to be outside. Pre-pandemic. We're still kind of pandemic, but, you know, I'm glad we're not having to wear masks everywhere. That I'm glad about. Glad we don't have to wear masks everywhere. Did you ever have your mask, you pick up the wrong mask and have somebody else's breath in it? Remember eating garlic. Remember when the pandemic first, everybody was selling masks? People was making masks out of anything. They had a broad trying to sell me a mask. I don't want no damn your titty milk mask. I finally knew what it felt like for women, though, when they come home from a long day of work and take their bra off. That's how I was taking the mask off, just letting it breathe. I finally knew what that felt like. But masks weren't all bad, though. They weren't terrible. I mean, there were certain things, you know, you can do with masks. Like, you know, me and my lady, we turned it into a game. We start wearing a mask in the bedroom. Anybody else doing that, or that was just, okay, all right. Well, I mean, you got to try it, though, man. It's a rush. We made a game out of it, you know what I mean? First person to pass out, lose the game. It's the new choke. You gotta give it a shot. You gotta make sure you have the N95 mask, so she can't breathe. Spices the game up that much, man. This pandemic, I mean, I was just like everybody else, you know, just I gained weight during the pandemic, man. I gained a couple pounds during the pandemic. Dealing with it, but just, I was out at the mall, and I'm walking past this group of girls, and one of them called me thick. You can't call no grown man thick. You know, you can't call a grown man thick. And then I was at the store again, and another girl called me thick. I just embraced it. I was like, that's right, you see it. Got a little thick around the thighs. Gained a little weight during the pandemic, and I was with my daughters all day, all night. Anybody that got kids, you realize, I mean, because you see your kids, you send them off to school, and you know, you miss them, but being with them 27, rough. Oh my God. I got a 7-year-old and I got a 10-year-old. My 7-year-old, she's learning how to read. I mean, this was last year. So she was, you know, just getting there. And I don't know if anybody ever heard a little kid read before. And I was happy that she was learning how to read. I was not happy she was reading to me. Oh my God. We sitting there reading a book. She's like, the dolphin. The dolphin went, that was a big one. The dolphin went through the damn ring, all right? That's what he did, okay? Look, we've been on the same page for 2 hours now. Look. I know how to read, all right? Look, you need to learn this. I'm good. I didn't say that to y'all. I was just thinking it. Stressed out, you know? And my kids, like I said, my 10-year-old, she's starting to come into her womanhood. They're getting younger. With me. And I don't know how to handle it as a man and have a daughter. So I had to think, you know, when I was younger, I never got to talk. Me, my mom, my sister. My mom didn't know how to really handle talk. This was the talk I got. I came home one day from school. I had a box of tissue sitting on my bed with a note on it that said, stop using all the damn toilet paper. P.S. You need a girlfriend. That was my puberty talk. So, I'm not sure how to handle it, y'all. Maybe somebody give me some advice after the show. So my kids, man, they like to bother me. Like, they think I'm old. My youngest daughter was like, Dad, did you know Rosa Parks? I'm like, I don't know Rosa Parks. She's like, when you were younger, was it like black and white outside? I'm like, look, I'm 35 years old. Get your little ass away from me, you know? Kids are jerks, man. Then we got a dog during the pandemic. That was a great idea. Let's just add another mouth to feed while we're already, you know, not working. So we got this dog. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Pet lovers, I don't like them. I don't at all. Because we took the dog to those obedience classes. What a waste of time. The dog just only knows how to, you know, she learned a couple things. She learned how to blink. breathe, eat, and bark. Yeah, those are things she learned. Those are things she learned in obedience class. That's okay. I don't really like the dog, like I said, so I didn't expect a big response. But what else have I done in the pandemic? I started watching a lot of reality TV. Started watching a lot of that, and I was watching my 600-pound. No, not my 600-pound life. My 600-pound life. And I was watching that. For the people who are watching that are single, if you are not up to 600 pounds, you might need to gain some weight because they always have a man. Always. They be hosing them down on the front of the porch, giving them a bath. It is something to see. And I also like the other one, Naked and Afraid. Probably my favorite show out right now. If you don't know what the show is, it's really just a show where white people go in the woods and then they starve for like 30 days. Come from good homes, good jobs, and they just chose to go in the woods and starve and talk in the camera about it. I haven't eaten in weeks. I need some protein. Well, why don't you just go home? I mean, you don't have to do this. I've gone to bed hungry before. That is not something I'm going to voluntarily do, you know. And that's all I've been doing in the pandemic. I don't know what else I do. I don't know. I'm gonna tell you a secret that kind of pertains to tonight. One of my fears. I am afraid of bugs. Any kind, especially flying bugs. Like a bee? Like, are you kidding? A bee will clear out a cookout. I'm not saying I'm like extremely afraid of bugs, but I'm saying if somebody like had a spider in their hand right now and came up here, you could probably get my wallet. I would probably give you everything I own. Just don't put that spider on me. What's wrong with you? I mean, I have a cousin who's afraid of bugs too. This was maybe about 2 years ago, right before the pandemic. We were at a cookout. Have you ever seen somebody pull a gun out on a bug before? Yeah, my cousin did. He's a thug. He pulled a gun out on a bug and threatened to shoot it. So you got to be out your mind. So that's just the pandemic. I was thinking during the pandemic, being around my kids, I was like, you know what? We need a male birth control. That's what we need. Think about it. Our time will finally come, fellas. You go out to the bar, meet a nice young lady, go back to the house. She goes to reach for the condom drawer. You're like, whoa, baby, I'm on the pill. We can do whatever you want tonight. I think that's my time, though, guys. You guys have been great. My name is Marcus Cox. Have a good one.
Next up is an amazing comedian. She's my friend. Everyone loves her. Miss Stacey Fleurime.
Hey, everybody. So, I've often been told that I have resting bitch face. But then whenever I change my expression for those people, they don't appreciate my active bitch face either. And like, I don't like to walk around smiling because I don't want to give anyone the wrong impression of me. Like, I hate for anyone to look at me and just assume that I'm happy or something. Like, that's gross. But a lot of people have bad opinions on people who don't smile all the time. I deal with that a lot. A while ago, I went on a job interview, and the interviewer stopped to ask me why I wasn't smiling. And then she told me that they had a really friendly work environment and that she couldn't hire me because she didn't care for my face. And yeah, it was really upsetting, but I took that situation as a lesson. And nowadays, I smile all the time outside her window. So, yeah, it's a really big improvement. But I briefly work in customer service, and I had a hard time with it, mainly because I had to go to work on an empty stomach, you know, to save room for all the shit I have to swallow throughout the day. Yeah, but also I was never personable enough for customer service work. I would probably do better like in a different country actually, Like, I read a while ago about how in Germany they opened a Walmart at one point, but then, and they were like using the American service model, and a lot of their workers were getting reported for sexual harassment because they were smiling and talking to the customers. And I don't know, when I read that, I was like, wow, I would do great working in Germany. Like, I'd be perfect for that, just not here. But there are like some like other jobs that I'd be interested in doing. Like, I'd be really into being a rapper. Yeah, I like really love rap music. I think I'd be really good at it. It's just unfortunate that I don't have enough money for butt implants right now, and yeah, I'd have a tough time competing in that market with what I have right now. So, yeah, it wouldn't really work. Sometimes sometimes when there's a rap feature in certain songs, I feel like sometimes it ruins it. Like, I don't know, sometimes rappers, they just be really off topic. Like, there'll be like a love song, and then the rapper will come on, like, girl, I love you, I want you in my life, I fuck 3 bitches every day and every night. And it's just not, I don't know, it's not romantic, and it kind of takes me out of the song. But so I'm from Haiti, and often when people find out, they like to ask me weird questions about it. They'll be like, OMG, do you do voodoo? But no, I don't. I prefer to hurt people with my words. But also, I don't really know anything about voodoo. It's a religion, but my family didn't practice that. They raised me Christian, but I was never really too good at it, and I blame them for that. Just because they always taught me to obey every verse, especially the one that says, do unto others as you would have them do to you. But then they'd always get really angry whenever I try to beat them with sandals. Yeah, it was really confusing for me. I didn't know what God wanted from me. Also, I find the idea that God is always watching you kind of creepy. Like, one bearded old guy watching me masturbate is too many. Like, that's really awkward. And then to know that God is also there watching, like, that's too much of an audience for that. Just so weird. But despite all that, I still hold on to a lot of lessons my religion taught me. Like, for instance, I always treat my body like a temple. I keep it open to the public, but I'd like for you to bring cash. Yeah. So, there are many things that has made it kind of tough being an immigrant. Like, I have a really hard time taking people's jobs. Like, I'm just really not a natural at it. I like need to get better at that. My mom is great at that. Like, she's taken so many jobs, but I just can't like keep up with that. But also, my family was bothered by how Americanized I became right away. Like, as soon as we moved here, whenever they'd get together to do anything traditional, I'd be out conquering lands. And they'd always say, Stacey, you're Haitian, not American. You can't act like this. And then they just move back into the rooms I already conquered. Like, it was terrible. But, like, at that time, my family didn't speak English at home, and when I went to school and came back, I just repeated the first few English words I learned to them over and over. Speak English. Yeah, I don't know why, but I used to hate it when my family would speak a different language around my friends for some reason. I'd be like, Mom, can you stop speaking Creole around my friends? Sarah should have to hear what you have to say about her hair. Like, let her know. But my family in general, they were just like really judgmental in general. So I had stuff said about me all the time too. It was actually so bad that I didn't know what my real name was until roll call my first day of school. Like on that day, I was on the playground and I was talking to this girl I just met about this boy I thought was cute. And when I pointed him out, she was like, "Who, him? He's ugly." And I said, "No, that's James. I'm ugly. Nice to meet you." No, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. My family's ugly too, so it's cool. Uh, but so I believe in miracles, and to some people that's a kind of crazy concept, but I have a really good reason for that belief. Like, there was a time when I was touched by an angel. Yeah, and then God did nothing when I reported it. It was tragic. But there's been a lot of talk about the sexual assault problem lately. Like, a lot of people are speaking up, and then people are trying to figure out how to solve the issue. But I think a good solution to that would be slut shaming. Just because, like, men kind of have been given no sexual shame, so they're kind of just running amok and, like, doing all types of things. Like, you don't really see, like, women doing, like, certain things as much, like, for a reason, but, like, when I, like, walk down the street, there are just, like, random men just yelling sexual stuff at just any woman walking by. And if they could be shamed, you could stop that by saying, "Dude, you're acting like a slut right now. Have some self-respect and put your dick away." No woman wants to date a guy whose dick can be sketched perfectly for a police report by every woman in the city. Like, that's just really not attractive at all. So, some time ago, I went to a costume party with a cousin of mine, and he dressed up as a mass shooter. And I was, like, kind of bothered by that. I was like, "Gerard, like, how can you dress up like that? That is so offensive. Like, how could you appropriate white culture that way? Like, that is just terrible, just so bad." But I've been Stacey Fleurime, everyone. Thank you.
All right, folks, our last comic tonight is Wild and Wonderful. From the hills, the Smoky Hills of West Virginia, my friend and yours, Mr. Cody Cannon. All right!
What's up, everybody? How's it going? Everybody doing okay tonight? Yeah. Yes, guys, I'm really excited. I finally did it. My hair is long enough that I can hide weed in it. Pretty exciting. I've been smoking weed for a long time. Do you guys like to eat when you get the munchies? Do you guys like to eat after smoking a bunch of weed? Yeah, I don't do it. That part of my life's behind me. I decided a long time ago I needed to stop because I have a problem. I either eat until everything's gone or I fall asleep, whichever happens first. The best example of this is one time I went camping with some friends and I was the last one awake and I smoked around the fire and I was like, I'm going to see what we got in the cooler and I'm going to munch down before I go to bed. Well, I found a bag of bacon and I ended up eating the entire bag. Yeah, it was bad. I felt really bad about it the next morning. I was like, oh God, that was supposed to be breakfast. I was like, yo, I ate that entire bag of bacon. I know you like pre-cooked it for breakfast and everything. I'm so sorry. I'll run and get some stuff. And they're like, Cody, we brought sausage for breakfast. And I was like, what do you mean? And at the same time, somebody who said, where are all of the dog treats? So I had eaten an entire bag of bacon strips. And was like, maybe no more with the munchies. I'm not from West Virginia originally. I grew up on the West Coast. And my mom remarried and moved to West Virginia when I was in high school. And at 17, I started getting into a lot of trouble. And my father, in all of his infinite wisdom, was like, I'm worried that you're going to start doing drugs. You should go to West Virginia. And sent me across the country. It was a great time. I love West Virginia. I got there and I was like, what are all of these exotic accents? You know, I remember the first girl I was really into, I was like, what are you doing this weekend? And she's like, I don't have any real plans, but I know at some point I gotta go see my mama. And I was like, I have no idea what you just said, but please tell me more. That was really sexy. So, yeah, I don't know, life's crazy. I've been getting into astrology. I've been getting into astrology lately, and one of my friends was like, dude, that's because you're into a girl that's into astrology. And I was like, no, my friend, that's because I'm having sex with a girl that's into astrology. I can't be into her because I'm an Aries, and she's a Cancer, and according to her, that means we're not compatible. So, you know, I don't know. I like this astrology, though, because I like it. I think it's a lot more fun and it's silly. I like it because it took them. I was raised Christian. A few different kinds of Christian. My parents, like, couldn't make up their minds. I went to Catholic church for a while. I went to a mega church for a while where MC Hammer was our pastor. And, yeah, that's totally true. MC Hammer was the pastor, and every Sunday night his service was actually called Hammer Time. No joke. Yeah. And I remember this because there was one service where the whole service was about the R. Kelly song, I Believe I Can Fly. And they were like, R. Kelly, God was using R. Kelly for this song. And I'm like, man, that sermon has aged so well. I just love the idea that, like, at some point, I don't know, it's good. It's good fun. But yeah, so I'm not religious anymore, and I like that, that astrology is way less severe than religion. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm wrong about astrology, if I'm wrong about Christianity, I am spending the rest of my life in hell. But if I'm wrong about astrology, maybe it's okay that I just was a little more frugal last Thursday. You know what I mean? I'm getting a pentagram tattooed on me, just because I think it's silly and it's a good time. And also, I really want to piss off my stepfather. So, I'm really excited about that. I don't believe in the devil or anything. I just think it's a silly, fun time, you know. My baby mama terrifies me. She does. She terrifies me, and it's okay. I love her. She just terrifies me because she's like, her family comes from like a long line of Southern West Virginians that are like, they're just like a wild folk. I'll give you an example. They really are. Southern West Virginia is the last of the wild, wild west. The best example is when she was growing up, her parents used to raise and fight chickens. Yeah, that's not even a joke. That's 100% true. They used to raise and fight chickens and like once a month, they would train these chickens, and once a month them and the neighbors would get together. They would have the chickens, they would attach razor blades to their ankles and have them fight to the death. Which sounds really inhumane, but I'm personally am for it because it's dinner and a show in one foul swoop. Oh yeah. I don't know. I just hope, like, as a parent, my goal is that I don't. My goal as a parent is I just hope that my son doesn't make the same mistakes I have. You know, I don't know. I want to have better communication with him and stuff than I did with my father. My dad never gave me the birds and the bees talks, and I was homeschooled, which meant I started masturbating at way too young of an age. I was only homeschooled like through middle school, but yeah, I started masturbating way too young. Yeah, I don't know. I just I only have sisters, and so I ran to my dad's room. I cleaned up the mess because I'm not gonna just like go talk to my dad with cum hands. And I ran and went to my dad, and I was like, "Listen, Dad, I'm having an emergency." And he was like, "What's going on?" And I was like, I just had my first period. And so I don't want my son to have to go through stuff like that. I don't know. I have a really strong relationship with my son right now, which is great. Something I overcame during the pandemic was that I am no longer afraid to think about him when I'm on mushrooms. Yeah, I'm no longer afraid to think about him, which it was the kind of thing that, like, I would go and do them, and I would be like, this is you time, focus on you, focus on whatever's going on, don't think about that, but then you think about it, and it becomes a nightmare, and so, disclaimer, I'm not taking mushrooms around my son, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want you guys to think that I'm, like, sitting there being like, if you don't think about him, he's not real, if you don't think about him, he's not real, and he's like, Daddy, make me a sandwich! But dude, thank you guys so much, this has been so fun.
Let's hear it for one more time. Let's hear it for the comics. Over here, Marcus and Stacey. Let's hear it for our Allie, who unseen, your Allie. Here's to Pittsburgh. Alright guys, my name is Dave Stewart. It's been amazing. Thank you for everyone watching at home. And good night. Thank you.